So I wanted to send a quick little video before I went and got my workout in. Today was the last football game for my son, who's in the 7th grade. But I think back to the first practice. And I remember the first practice because it was something that really helped me, and I hope this can help you as well. So my son had been playing football across town at a different school, but he was still attending the school where he played at football at this year. And so you can imagine he had a whole lot of friends. So when he got to practice, all his friends were like, DJ, DJ. And so I watched him. He had a good practice, but then it was time to condition. And so what happened was DJ was hanging with his friends while they were conditioning, and they was doing some gassers going back and forth as football players do. And he was in the middle of the pack. And I watched these two little boys who were just killing it, just dominating. And so at the end of practice, my son came over and I, told him he had a good practice. I said, but let's talk about the conditioning. I said, what happened during the conditioning? He was like, what, Daddy? And I said, well, I watched you during conditioning and I seen you running with your friends. He was like, yeah. And I said, but your friends were in the middle of the pack. But I watched these two other dudes who was dominating. I said, matter of fact, last year, wasn't those the two dudes who used to tell me at recess you used to race all the time, and one day you would beat them and the next day they would beat you and y'all would go back and forth? He said, yeah, that's them. I said, well, it's funny how they was in the front, but you was in the middle of the pack with your friends. I said, well, you can't beat them no more, or are they that much faster than you? He was like, no, I can still beat them. I said, oh, okay. I said, because hang with your friends, you look real average. And see, that's what happens sometimes. We hang with our friends and we look real average, even though we know it's something inside of us that's special. And I'm not trying to talk about your friends. I'm just saying sometimes we got to make decisions that are best for us. So the next day of practice, I watched my son and he was dominating. Those two boys, one would win and the other would win, and they would turn around and they would laugh at each other. And I watched the coaches looking at my son, and it made me feel good. So here's the reality. We got to decide whether we want to continue to hang with our friends that have an average mindset. And maybe that mindset might change, but right now they have an average mindset. But you're extraordinary. And so you got to decide whether you want to continue hanging with average and settle, or get in where you fit in, which is extraordinary. We all got something special inside of us, but unfortunately, a lot of us don't live up to that special thing that we have inside of us. A lot of people, have arguments where the richest place on this planet is. Some people say it's the diamond mines in Africa. Others say it's the oil fields in the Middle East. I think the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because there was a whole lot of people who died with ideas and dreams that could have changed the planet. See, sometimes we got to do those things that was placed in us by God. And it's going to be hard. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. See, sometimes we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So stop settling. It's time for you to live a life that you truly deserve. It's time to get uncomfortable. Thank you.